Yeah, I think the iconic battles, like I said, are the best part of this game. The iconic boss fights and the cinematics around them and just those set pieces. They're probably the highlight of this entire thing.
I'd better give Otto the good news.
Like, when you look back at a Final Fantasy, I don't think you're really going to... Like, you are, obviously. You're going to remember the action stuff, but, like, the fact that this is purely an action game. But I think more so you're going to remember the fact that this is a game about these large-scale, insane nuclear battles between summons. Like, that's what defines this experience, I would argue, more so than its identity as, like, an action RPG. And, yeah, I love that, man. In a minute. I have a bunch of stories to tell you guys. Boy, oh boy.
You're back.
Oh, yes, I am.
I am. And with glad tidings for once.
Yeah.
Hugo Kupka is no more. Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you right now.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Let's go.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Need all the help I can get. Fire and ice. Let's go.
Otto, any word on the Royalist movements since I've been away? Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian. Thank you. I will.
Alright. Checking back in with Madame V.
The conquering hero returns. And with hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up one or two.
Oh yeah.
Well, the fact
Understatement
that
of the
you came
century.
to me instead of visiting our resident physiker suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, he took them to his grave.
True.
As did his men. Slaughtered by the orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in Storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map?
Alright, another map, lore sesh. See all the new
The
deets.
kingdom of Walud claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin.
There's
The
Odin
Canarian
too we gotta fight. My
independence
god.
In 849. The Battle of the Twin Realms in 865. The Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion.
Yeah, Odin versus Ifrit would be insane. Odin's my favorite summon.
Dalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Walud shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Walud?
Huh.
It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waluda standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And
Spooky.
on that day, who will be trampled underfoot?
Like a gazillion and one poor souls, that's for sure.
In summary, I know not to what end the royalist betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw. Especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider it the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, clearly the next two big threats are the Emperor and King Barnabas. Can't wait to go up against both of them. And again, I really do wonder if we're actually going to be going up against Bahamut, aka the Prince, because he seems to kind of be not really having a change of heart, right? He's still the same character he's always been, but he doesn't want to go along with his father's plan, and his father's kind of a maniac. So our interests might align with his. We'll see. I have no idea what to expect, but yeah, we got a lot of things to do here. Let's start by going to the forge. Make some new goodies.
Blackthorn.
What is it?
I wanted to tell you that Hugo Kupka is dead.
Not true. Gotta tell this guy the news.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to hear those words.
Sad NPC face.
This is it then. A new beginning under a new Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
No, I don't want to walk away. I'm here to actually build a sword. Alright, got a bunch of new things to do elsewhere, but yeah, let's go do this main quest stuff. Talk to Caron.
Someone looks pleased with himself.
Caron.
It's true what I'm hearing, then.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
No more looking over our shoulders, then. Good. I'm starting to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though.
Oh, sure, speak with Harpocrates as well. We're telling like the most random folks that he said, well, I suppose the folks who were impacted the most strongly by him.
Ah,
Makes sense.
Clive, have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually.
Let's go.
Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oh my. Can it really be true?
Look, he's crying.
What the fuck?
He is.
Get out of here, you little rascals. Where the hell did they come from?
Listen, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
This is so goofy.
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, Ultima came to me.
Yeah, I want to know more about
I need to
this.
know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, No. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him. With my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah, it's very curious.
Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
Because we know Joshua locked up Ultima. And Ultima visited us in our minds somehow, so... Did Joshua free Ultima? I don't know. I mean, there's an argument to be made that he might have, because he was looking pretty fine when he was walking into the tent to speak with the prince. He looked pretty alright.
It's true. I heard it from Ultima.
Wasn't struggling to stay on his feet.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
Black screen of talking.
So, the professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though. Everyone was glad to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing.
I'm hearing Moogle sounds in the background. I love it.
You should tell him.
You're right. I should.
That's sad. Why do you have to say that, man?
Well, when you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going at it hammer and tongs.
Just getting me all sappy.
Trying to do
Stop.
her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Mentioning OG said like that.
I'll suggest it.
Okay. Speak with Mid.
All right, Clive? What do you want?
I'm going to visit Sid, and I thought you might like to come with me.
Sorry, I'm too busy for all that right now. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal...
Displacement stack.
Displace a what?
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen.
Oh, that's cool.
The Enterprise.
Just like the Leonardo da Vinci of this world. That's
Me
awesome.
and my dad designed it together. Where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through the water, ours is fitted with mithril engines.
Ooh, fancy.
And those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood, and more heat than all the hells put together.
We build an airship next?
Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard in Canva. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up over at the shipyard. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Good old Clive. How open you'd say
Oh my
that.
god, I wasn't.
First things first, I need some parts meching.
Not gonna lie.
The stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here, that channels hot vapors away from the engine. The helm over the top, that disperses all that heat into the air. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the ship from going up in flames.
Sounds good, miss.
A full suit of armor, then. Probably best to take it one piece at a time.
Then you'll need to start
Yeah,
with the
slow
plane.
down, lady. I'm trying to
Everything else
process all this information.
the designs and the list of materials here.
Thank you.
Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what to do.
Although in like a majority of RPGs, your character does a quest that they're not even qualified, like they're overqualified to do. Like for no reason at all whatsoever. I mean, I suppose there's value in doing them because of the rewards and stuff, but it's just so funny how they're so willing to like jump at any opportunity in the world, right? Maybe we can take a note from their book, right? Maybe you should all be a little like RPG characters in that regard. The world might be a better place. If we adopted a little Clive in all of us, or a little bit of any insert RPG character here in all of us and go, hey, is there anything I can help you with? You good? Need me to go find these materials for you that I can't even freaking pronounce?
Yo, Mr. White, I can't even pronounce half this shit.
And yeah, you know what? Since we did a bunch of monster hunting, I'm curious if we can head to the forge and craft the things we couldn't before, like that required electrum and stuff like that. Let's have a look. Hope so. Hunting, then crafting. Sounds like a good time.
Out with it.
It's for mid.
This my last chance to say I'm otherwise.
Oh, it's for the main quest.
Spare myself the
Forgot.
arseache. Go on then. What is it this time?
She said you would know.
Mid needs the parts.
Yeah.
For the ship. Thermal plating designs. Gonna give him the blueprints.
Krieger's Tates. Well, I don't know what the hell you'd want this for, but I can make it. Won't be easy though. And I'll need help. Get Gavin Otto in here, will you?
All right.
Can we craft my super duper awesome weapon after the hunts, though, first? Guess not. That's cool. We'll do this first.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, has she? Typical. Still, if that's what it takes to get her to visit Sid's grave, I'll do what I can.
And, what is it we need to do, exactly?
Take a look at this. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't work. We need something that can get very hot, very fast, and still keep its shape. That means an alloy. Something that won't break or buckle at the temperatures she's talking about. Which is where you lot come in. I need materials, and I've got my work cut out already. You'll have to fetch them.
I feel like we're building a flower wagon all over again, like in Crisis Core.
You can only find out in the Velcroy. Stardust, they call it. As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply should have it in stock. It just needs buying and bringing back here.
Well, we'll get it done quicker if we split up. One of us should probably give you an handcoat in the sand.
And the other can go and get the rest from this supplier.
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where, and we can get this over with.
Alright, boys, let's split up. Okay, not prioritizing this right now, sorry. Blackthorn, I'll admit I was here for something a little different.
After the Stardust then, are you? Which one of these two lucky souls is going with you?
Oh, cool. We can choose who we want to go with us, so it could be either be Otto or Gav. I like Gav a lot, man. Gav is the best, bro. Let's go.
You're with me.
All right then.
Saddle up, lad. We're headed out.
So, where do we find this Stardust stuff?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Velcroy. It's the black sand that washes up on its banks that you're after.
Southern reaches of the Velcroy, eh? That's down past Dalamil. I'll go and scout the place out. See about hiring us a wagon to bring the stuff back to.
Ain't no way I'm not going with Gav.
I'll meet you by the river.
While you're off having a paddle.
No offense,
I'll pick up the
Otto.
rest of the stuff from Blackthorn's supplier. Take care.
You two, eh? Don't go letting them fleece ya.
Fleece me? I like to see him try.
In your own time.
West destination nearby. Oh, there you are, Gav. Close by. Appreciate that.
Sorry to keep you, Gav.
Better late than never. I've had a quick
Fought Titan then, haven't you? I have. Yeah, that fight was incredible.
grab as much of this Stardust
That was the best
stuff
part of
as
the
we
game,
can.
hands down.
Don't know what Blackthorn's planning to do with it, though. I asked over in Dalamil, and they seem to think it was worthless. But if Stardust is what Blackthorn wants, Stardust is what he'll get. There's plenty of the stuff lying about just begging to be bagged.
Yep, insane. I know, right?
Race, yeah?
That shit absolutely blew my mind with how cool it was. And right now, I'm just thinking to myself, right, ever since we did that part, how are they going to top it? I mean, I'm sure they will. And don't tell me if they will or if they won't, but I'm just wondering how the heck for a fight of that proportion, right? That isn't even like the final boss of the game. How do you top that for the rest of the experience? And the crazy thing is, Ifrit versus Titan was my most anticipated fight at this game, and they somehow managed to make it even better than what I imagined. Yeah, man, that shit was hands down INSANE. Insane, man.
It just looked like black sand to me.
Looks like nothing at all to me. Odin's always been my favorite summon. Same here, man. Yeah, Odin's my favorite. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to something that might potentially go down with Odin and Bahamut and all the other players on the board. Okay, where the heck is this last piece of Stardust? There you are. Sneaky deaky. Hiding in the corner in the bushes. No one eludes if Freeze grasps.
Let's see how Gav's getting on.
You finished? How much did you get?
Enough. I hope.
Josh was upstairs. I was freaking out. Same here, man. Yeah, same. Clive and his little Bluetooth phoenix feather almost caught Joshua, and it was almost the epic family reunion, but it was not meant to be. Very sad.
Hey, before we go, do you mind if we have a chat?
And I loved the one tiny detail I actually really loved about that was the fact that Clive saw Joshua's plate of food and the food he wasted, and it was the same plate of food from the beginning of the game that we see Joshua eating with his dad, the sausages and the carrots or whatever.
You know, man to man like.
And it's like a little subtle piece of intel, but that like it's Joshua, and then he realizes it's him.
Name, we were talking all the time, working out what to do in that.
Like the visual storytelling is really good in this.
To work out.
And there still is. Those shoulders of yours starting to feel the strain. Hardly ever see you around the hideaway nowadays. Always on some errand or other. You can take a day off, you know.
Says the man who spends most of his time behind enemy lines.
Only 'cause you keep sending me there.
Wonder how much of this
count on you, Gav.
dialogue would be different if it was auto.
Likewise.
Very interesting.
So you keep sending me wherever you need to, and I'll keep going. Safe in the knowledge that I have a home to come back to. Thanks to you.
Beautiful. The theme that's playing right now, I consider this to be the main theme of Final Fantasy 16. Like, if Final Fantasy 16 was an old-school Final Fantasy game with an overworld theme and everything, it would be that. You know, excluding the prelude.
And try to get some rest once you're there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. After Blackthorn gets what he needs, of course.
It's called the Greatwood theme. It's so nice. I love whenever it plays.
Right. Ready to go home, boy?
Okie dokie. That was a nice little heart-to-heart with Gav. He's one of my favorite side characters. Otto, I won't lie, isn't very memorable. I'm kind of glad I didn't bring Otto along. But at the same time, I am very curious how much stuff, you know, how much of the dialogue would be different with Otto. Probably a lot of it, right? Because I was kind of specific to Gav's character. We're in the middle of a filler anime arc right now. But it's nice. But to develop the characters a bit.
Got everything you need.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
We should go out on maneuvers together more often. You know, it beats sneaking around on your tud all the time.
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating together then. It will take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, I could do without you breathing down my neck.
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's underway.
Okie dokes. Letting off steam 1. Oh god. Not letting off steam, is letting off steam 1. That's part 1 of however many.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work too.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
Will do, lads.
You'll be pleased.
Yeah, have yourself a damn go one, man.
Started work on the plating.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but impossible to work.
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name? Right.
What's her name? Wow. That was rude, Clive.
Oh, Sid, is this about the helm?
Interesting. She's one of the few around here still has the
Mid said I
mark.
should speak with you.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is burned to generate heat. That heat is then harnessed to produce motive force. Excess heat is dealt with by means of the thermal displacement stack, which disperses it into the surrounding air. Now, were we to rely on thermal plating alone to achieve this effect, the rate of excess heat buildup would far exceed the displacement coefficient of the plating. In other words, the reactor would overheat and eventually explode. This is where
Totally understand everything you're talking about.
it connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all that excess energy. Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are remarkably thermophilic. They can withstand and absorb levels of heat far above anything we are able to make today. And not only that, they're also waterproof and immune to rust, making them the perfect material for our protective hood. Why, if sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there.
Thanks, Clive. I'm glad I wasn't the only one feeling the same
Might
way.
be able to use parts of a fallen ruin.
Like, whoa there, chill out, ChatGPT. You can stop generating information now.
Lorbett's Pass near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there. It's no longer a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid. I'll gather my team and head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins.
Quest accepted. Okay, letting off steam 2. Letting off steam, part 2. Yeah, this whole quest has been very fillery. We'll see where it goes though, right? I'm reserving judgment for after we're done with this entire thing. But so far, I can feel the padding, essentially. Which I can understand to a degree, because after the craziness that was the Titan fight, right? Hugo v. Clive, right? After all that, there had to be a little moment of, you know, like respite here for the story. It had to kind of like simmer down, slow down, and, you know, kind of take its time before, you know, rising once again. But I just hope this stuff doesn't overstay its welcome too much. We'll see. Like, if we're just building a ship and it's gonna be in a cutscene and we get on the ship and that's it and we're done, like...
Taking you all to a storehouse in the Bales.
That would be a bummer. But no, I'm sure it's more than that. I'm hopeful. Whee! Just moon to this bad boy. What's up, Helena?
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
I gotcha.
Of course. I'll be right back.
I've been out here hunting down these bozos for the past gazillion hours, so don't you worry about a thing. I'm gonna go take care of that big bad boy. RQ. On the double.
Anybody home?
Surely it can't be as bad as the King Flan, or the Flan Prince. Yeah, this is
unwanted visitor.
literally the first mark we ever fought. Don't make me laugh, unwanted visitor. You don't scare me, you little Kesey wannabe. Oh, jeez. He's definitely got a wide arsenal of pretty spooky attacks, though. I'll give him that. Big. Nice, got him there. And we're gonna get him here. Beautiful. Stick him, doggo. Let's go. Let's go with that. Bit of that. Bit of that. Bit of this. Bit of that. Keep going for him, Pupper. Do not let up. 31k. Beautiful. Dang it. Not good. How do we get out of this? Okay, like that. Easy. Nice. Broke him. Broke him yet again. Get him. Nice. There we go. Done and dusted. Very fun.
The things I do for you, Mid.
I swear.
Thank goodness you're safe.
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
Okie dokes. Goodbye, unwanted visitor. This is what you get for not RSVPing. Go on. He was unwanted and uninvited. We served as a bouncer there. Got him out of there violently. The big fat fiery touch. What's going on here? Yeah, no gifts either. No gifts, no flowers, no food. So rude. Like how that rhymed at the end. Go on.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started.
That doesn't sound fun.
I need something light. But I've wrapped my brains and I just can't think what to do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge,
What'd you do,
I know
Clive?
whose counsel I would seek. Hippocrates.
All right, not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him? See what he makes of it?
Right away.
If you had all that written down, why didn't you go talk to him yourself? No offense. He's like right next door. Why do I gotta do that? I gotta do more important things. I gotta do more iconic things. Pun intended. I wonder if this is like... Because most every Final Fantasy game has an airship, right? So I wonder if this is where this is going. Are we gonna build an airship or something out of what we're doing here? Is that why this is such a long quest? Like, it's like an epic build up to it? We'll see. I hope so. Can you imagine how sick that would be, an airship in FF16? Because Cid did allude to that closer to the beginning of the game. That the ancients had technology. Had the technology to build airships, and they had airships. Flying in the skies. High above Valisthea.
Hippocrates, do you have a moment?
For you, Clive, always.
Well, actually, it's for mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
Here we go.
Shielding for a mithril engine. Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine, she's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
Yeah, it's a handful.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Nanny?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obelisk complains that without a constant supply of... pitch. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew.
Moon
It is
dew.
said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames.
That sounds fun.
Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragon fire.
Oh, no way.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other.
Dragon
to
spray.
provide the protection it requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obelisk might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Hippocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
Thanks, Dumbledore. Got the rest of Hogwarts here. This time.
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Always. Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your capable hands, Clive.
Oh, we get to choose yet again who you want to accompany us. I think.
So, Clive, have you made your decision? Who
I don't
will
know, have I?
accompany you on your little excursion?
Let's go with Tarja, because we're always going with Jill, right? I don't think Tarja has ever been a traveling companion. Let's do it.
All right. So, what are we
Let's
fetching?
learn more about her.
I have taken the liberty of preparing a list. Here.
Garlic. Conch shells. Are you sure this is the right list? Looks like the ingredients for someone's supper.
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely exploited, effects for which they were once highly prized. So much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction, hence moondews having fallen from favor. Now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find everything you need at the market in Northreach.
Well, isn't that convenient? I was hoping to be able to make a trip over that way sometime soon. Need to speak to an old acquaintance. I'll meet you there.
Sounds good, Chief.
Stay safe.
Jill, I swear it's not what it looks like.
Good luck with your research.
Alright, let's go. Make for the Northreach markets. How do they just so casually and quickly travel like halfway across the world to do such basic tasks?
Where's Tarja?
Oh, I mean, obviously they use the... I forgot, I'm silly. They have these. Plot hole patched up.
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled.
Need to stock up on these.
Spoiling another cat.
There you are, Tarja.
Ah, and there you are. We shouldn't have any problems finding what we need in a place like this. But if time is of the essence, perhaps we should split up. Take a few items each.
All right. What shall I look for?
Let's see now. Why don't you take the garlic and the pepio nuts? Meet me by the gate when you've got them.
Sounds good. Let's go get these nuts and this garlic. Collecting ingredients.
Don't touch anything.
Peepo nuts. Got one of those. Thank you kindly. 4 of those. 3 of these.
And
Thank you, kind sir.
if that's what you want.
How the hell is anyone supposed to avoid that?
Now let's go get the garlic.
What can I interest you in today?
Some of this.
I trust it's all here.
That should do it.
Thank you, kind sir.
Tarja's finished too.
Let's go.
Well, did you find everything?
I did. Here.
Lovely. Let's go make some moondew.
Garlic and pepio nuts. Job done. We should get this back to Tomes then. He'll be waiting.
It's peepo nuts. Do not argue with me.
But we're not in too much of a rush, are we? Quick chat.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go. That last chat we had with Gav in mission number 1 was really insightful, so I'm sure this is going to be the same. Character moments are really nice in this game. We don't know much about Tarja. Well, compared to Jill, at least.
You know, I think this is the very first time we've been out on an errand together.
I think you might be right.
In all the years since you and that scowl of yours first appeared, you haven't invited me out once. For shame.
You're welcome.
Well, it seemed long overdue.
Hell yeah, let's
you
go.
did say you had some shopping to do.
Well, in hindsight, I'm glad I made this decision.
My supplies of herbs and liniment, yes. You and Jill alone burned through them like wildfire. No luck, though. My usual supplier's not here, and I refuse to pay the prices these gougers charge.
I'll ask Karen when we get back. What is it?
Oh, just memories. I came here with Sid once, shopping for supplies, just like today. And just like today, I came away empty-handed. Sid even said he'd speak to Karen for me when we got back. Has it really been 5 years? I remember it as if it was yesterday.
That's sad. Is that all nostalgic?
Does that mean it's been 5 years since we met? Feels a lot longer.
It does. In a good way, of course. Thank you, Tyre.
For what?
For everything. I just want you to know that all you've done for us, all you still do, it's appreciated.
Do you think I'd stick around if I thought it wasn't? But in the spirit of sharing and caring, you're appreciated too, by all of us.
That's wholesome. I feel like it would have been way more romantic if we brought Jill. But I'm glad that we brought a friend out here. We don't get a chance to speak to so much. For a change. It's really, it's so cool how she acknowledges all that.
Well, I think we've tarried long enough. I ought to get these ingredients back to Tomes so he can make up this concoction of his. I'll meet you back at the hideaway, all right?
All right. And thanks again.
I heard you the first time.
Coolio. Yeah, this game is so interesting. I mean, I've said this time and time before, like time and time again, but this is a really good example of what I keep saying, which is that this game does something really interesting where a lot of the quests that you do, especially the side quests, right? And in this particular point in the game, a lot of the main quests kind of feel like a majority of the side quests, but the side quests are not really that interesting inherently, right? They're very fetch questy in nature. Very bare bones, you know, go here, get this, and that's it. Pick up a little bit of garlic, pick up some peppers, whatever, you know, get these supplies, that's it. But then the moment there's like a conversation between two characters, like Clive and someone else in that side quest, or that quest that's like that, things get really good all of a sudden, right? It's kind of like the silver lining for something that's inherently not super engaging. Like this quest here was just literally go get some garlic, that's it. But then you have such a cool conversation between Clive and what's her name, Tarja. That's just kind of really well executed and nice to witness. Like the character moments are kind of what, like the character moments and the action and all the, you know, big large scale icon battles and stuff like that, and all the lore are what carries this game. Some of the game design when it comes to, you know, open zoned exploration, you know, that kind of stuff is not like the best. It's not the best in the business, but 100%, like I said, the rest of the game definitely carries the whole experience. Like it's redeemed by all the other stuff that is very, very good. Because there's a lot in this game that leaves a little to be desired. Like I said, the open zone exploration is one of them.
Socrates is getting on with the moon dew.
Some of the crafting stuff too. It's gotten a little bit better ever since we started doing the hunts. But yeah. Those things are probably the weaker components of the game. But the rest of it... Yeah, and the invisible walls too. I forgot to mention that. That's another really good one. Right, like there's so many little areas, particularly in the desert, right? In Dhalmekia, where you can, you know, potentially cross these canyons and, you know, jump across these gaps with your chocobo, but you actually can't. They're invisible walls and they look like they're designed to be jumped over, and then it's like, oh man, that's such a bummer. So, and I think that a lot about Square Enix games in general, right, is that their level design is a tad bit outdated, right? They are definitely not the best in the business by any means when it comes to level design. Like it's serviceable, it's not bad, but then when you compare their approach to level design to like a lot of other games that we're spoiled with by developers like From Software, for example, I'm just like shouting out some of the best developers in the business when it comes to that, like From Software, Nintendo, with like, you know, The Legend of Zelda and the like. It really is kind of shallow in comparison. But what is really nice though is at least the story, the storytelling, the world building, the music, you know, the action, the combat, the gameplay in that regard is all done really well and holds everything up quite nicely. When you describe the zones as set dressing, it really resonated and captured how I felt sometimes playing 14. The zones look beautiful and expansive, but you can't actually go through them outside of a linear fashion. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I feel the most when I play through this game. is that when I'm going through these open zones, it feels oddly like I'm very much so on the rails. Even though you have large swaths of land to explore, but then you do the exploring, right? And it doesn't feel like there's much to be done. You know, it doesn't feel that fruitful. Like, you go around, you see something interesting, but you're not rewarded for going to that thing. And again, I feel like a lot of open world games in recent times have spoiled me with executing that stuff so well. Like, you see the slightest, you know, the slightest bit of interest or intrigue from something in the environment, right? If you go there, you're going to be rewarded. You're going to find some crazy boss, you're going to take an elevator, and you might find yourself in this sprawling underground cavern somewhere that you never expected. There's always something going on that is worth exploring. There's never anything that is not that is there for no purpose, right? In this game, it definitely feels that way at times. Like, I was like, okay, you know what? Last time, there's this pretty cool windmill there. Let's go check it out. There's nothing but a couple enemies and a little chest with like $2, right? So it feels like, yeah, a lot of it is kind of window dressing it. It seems like they put a lot of really cool looking shit, which, don't get me wrong, is nice. It adds a lot to the world and the aesthetic and the scale of everything, but when you actually look beyond that, there isn't really a whole lot that's interesting to do. Now, like, thankfully, the hunts give you a little incentive to go out of your way to explore places you haven't been to. And we've been tackling a lot of the hunts on today's stream. But even then, right, once you kill the enemy, there's not much more to do in that area. That's kind of about it. It's just like a little arena for that specific boss. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like some of the zones are a little undercooked, but overall, it's a solid game so far. I like it a lot. Like, the lows don't feel like they are super low, and the highs feel like they are very high, right? And those are the things that stand out, and that's what ultimately matters. So, yeah. Hippocrates.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Hippocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Tarja how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course.
All right, lovely. Progress.
Oh, and Clive. It was good to talk. We should do it again sometime.
Okie dokie. Sounds good to me.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Hippocrates.
Lovely. Letting off steam, part 3 complete. Dang, we got 40 renown for that. Okie dokes. Yeah, like, see, this world looks beautiful, man. Like, the actual... The visual design of everything and the direction of everything is gorgeous.
Just started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
I think Mid might need
This
some
is
help
so scenic
tidying
and
up that workshop.
beautiful to look at. What's up, Mid?
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat. A coating that should provide the protection you need. He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Oh yeah.
Don't thank me. I'm just the errand boy.
Right then, better start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer.
It's cool how her accent is very similar to her dad's, right? To me, it seems like they got voice actors with a similar accent to voice Sid and Mid here.
I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way.
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
She laughs and the face doesn't move. That was creepy. In-game character model shenanigans. Can't elude them. Sometime later. Alright. It's coming together. Quite nicely. There comes the prelude. Okie dokes.
It's finished. It's finally finished.
Oh, we're actually done? Alright.
Fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone.
That was fast.
That's one down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what?
Didn't I tell
Hold
you?
on. Can we not?
The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
I'll pass.
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang in Canva can build the rest.
Good.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
Yeah, this dude's been working his ass off. Go take a nice long nap, my friend. Maybe go hit up those crystal clear waters of that one Dalmekian village. That looks very relaxing. Looks like a nice little vacation town. Well, how's it going, Jill?
Impressive, isn't it? I can't wait to see how the rest of the vessel looks.
Same. That's adorable.
She was building a ship.
All the kids are kind of awe-inspired by it here, having a look.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just daydreaming. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores
Hey,
unknown.
Sid's theme. It's been a
Searching for
while.
land untouched by the blight. Just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the twins turned black, we might still have a chance. That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we needed it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate.
This is getting deep.
I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that.
Hell yeah.
I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Clive's like, lady, that's my entire character arc.
All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans, I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's...
It's like you just described my ideal version of the plot. Of this whole story.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Lovely. That was a nice little speech about her dad there and what she wants for this ship. Like how characters just get deep all of a sudden in this game out of nowhere, and then they like just hit you with all this philosophical stuff. That's kind of cool.
All right, Clive.
Everyone's got a little bit of hidden wisdom in this world, clearly.
Traipsing across the twins, has she? I swear, that girl would do anything to put off visiting her old dad's grave. No excuses now, though, eh?
Not quite. She said there was one final thing she had to take care of. I'm sure she'll be finished soon enough.
She said that? In those words?
She did, yes.
Clive? Were you born yesterday or something? There is no thing. She'll probably be halfway to Canva by now.
Mid. I might still be able to catch her.
Uh-oh. Okay. Plot thickens. Okay, I'm kind of spooked out now.
Obolus, have you seen Mid?
Yep. In a boat. Going that way.
In a boat.
Then I'm too late.
You in a hurry at all, are you? Oh, I offered to take her across, but she wouldn't wait. Just paid for a dinghy and rowed off. Oars going like the clappers.
Damn.
Got some life in her, ain't she? But anyway, I was on my way up to see you, as it happens. Got a letter for you. Urgent,
a letter.
by the sound of it. One of your uncle's men said I was to hand it to you in person, post-bleeding haste. And you're here now.
Thank you, Obolus.
Don't mention it.
What tidings, Uncle?
Alright. What do you have here, Uncle? My dear boy, my journey to Canver has been a resounding success. The friend I mentioned not only agreed to share the contents of his strongbox with us, but his considerable knowledge of the going-on in the Free Cities, the goings-on in the Free Cities, by which I learned of the endeavors of a certain young friend of yours. Though I, for one, believe Miss Telemone's project to be quite the valiant enterprise, I doubt the Canvarian authorities will take kindly to the unauthorized use of their dockyards, no matter how deserted, and if rumor has already reached my friend, it may not be long before the guildmasters are rapping at our door. Which is why I pen you this note. I would like to borrow your man Gav for a moon or two, that he might keep a watch on those who might mean our little fellowship ill, and warn us of any impending attack. I trust that you will give this proposal your full consideration. Damn, he wants Gav.
Trouble in Canva.
And Gav does not like this guy, remember. It's gonna be interesting.
Someone to keep an eye on Mid.
Potentially very phony.
So what? Mid got us to do all the dirty work and then just sailed off into the sunset?
It, seems that way.
She ran off.
Nothing we can do about it now. But next time you plan on visiting Sid, you might want to tie her to something before you suggest it.
Ah, don't be so hard on her. Got to admit, the dirty work was kind of fun. Everyone pitching in and all that bollocks. Just like when we built this place.
You're right.
Anyway, we all set to head to the old hideaway. I could do with getting to Canva pretty sharpish.
The old hideaway.
To keep Lord Rosfield of the Seven High Houses waiting now, would it? Not after he asked for me personally.
Gav will be leaving with me. Will you mind the place while we're gone?
You can count on me. Just be sure to give Sid and the others my regards. All right.
Oh, by the way, Jill will be joining us too. She's got some things to take care of, but she'll meet us there.
I hope she's telling the truth at least.
Yeah, that sucks. We're tricked by Mid. Very sad. Oh, what? Got a little plus sign quest here, but we can go to the hideaway right now. Yeah, we're going to the old one. Sid's legacy. No way. The dust long settle. Little remains of the once bustling refuge many call home. Alright. I'm excited for this. Here's where things are about to get good. So sick. We got to go back to the old hideout. What remains of it. Yeah, and that's his grave. Oh yeah. Playing his theme, of course. Best theme in the whole game, by the way. Hope you guys know that. No debate. No contest.
Sid, I remember what you told me. But if no one is listening to what you have to say, you may as well not say it. But I will say this, old friend. Hugo Kuka is gone. His shadow looms over us no longer.
It's a pity the Phoenix can't be in two places at once.
Mm-hmm.
If he'd have been with us, maybe he could have done something for the lost.
Not even the Phoenix can bring people back from the dead. Life has a beginning and an end. So we must live while we have the chance.
Beautiful. No Phoenix Downs in this world.
Not as slaves to the crystals, but as free men.
May we join you?
Hey, we got Goots here too.
Lady Karen, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd drop by and see how you were all doing before heading off to restock my supplies.
Damn. That was so cool.
It wasn't the most scenic view back then, but it were never as bad as this.
I know. The Blight marches on. And soon, there will be no escaping sights like these. So our mission remains unchanged. We cannot stop until every Mother Crystal is gone, and their thirst for ether with them. The only one that remains in Storm is Drake's tail in the Crystalline Dominion.
Our next target.
We're going to Twinside.
It's the capital of the Empire these days. I wouldn't like to think how tightly guarded they've got the place. Not that that'll stop you, but we do well to scout it out before you go charging in.
We would indeed.
If you're off to the Dominion, you can take this great lump with you.
Goods.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you forgotten you're the most wanted man in the Twins? I thought you might like to disguise yourselves as the attendants of a travelling trader, assuming you've no better ideas.
That's not a bad idea.
You wanted to buy yourself some tools, didn't you? Well, now's your chance.
What?
You're letting me go with them? Oh, thanks, Nan.
Stop that! You'll break me bones, you great
Yeah, this dude's adorable. He's straight up Hodor.
There's a caravan that runs back and forth between the Dominion and the Bocklad markets. It's managed by the Merchants Guild. Just show them Goots' traders pass, and you'll be on your way.
Dan's a little too excited for this.
Than footing it the length of the Crystal Road. That's for sure.
You can calm down now, Goots. It's exciting.
Glad to have you with us, Goots.
Oh, okay then. I'll get me things and I'll meet yous there. See yous down in Bocklad.
Although he holds her hand while he pulls her away. Oh my god. Yeah, he's such a goof.
Jill, you're with me.
Understood.
And Gav?
Already on my way, Captain.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
Yeah, man, you better stay careful. Be careful and stay careful. Next best dude after Sid.
Do you see that, Sid? Your protege's making a proper little outlaw of himself.
Oh, yes. Sid the outlaw lives on, man. Alright. To the next crystal.